Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and gamers, to day 7 of 12 days of building. Now, we're going to be talking about terraforming today, and to do that, we're going to need a little bit of space. So, let's do -69, 3, and 80, then 80107, Minecraft, air, I said air 0 destroy, and please, I said please. It's working, but my computer froze. Ah, there it is, and apparently I should have done 1 because I did not want to get rid of the bedrock. But the important thing is, nothing in here is damaged. Nothing in here is damaged. And obviously this was a block up for the most part, so it's fine. That's all I cared about. So I'm going to fill this in, obviously with cheats, and then we'll start talking. But yeah, terraforming. Let's go. Alright guys, welcome back. Got this taken care of. Did the same thing over here. Some of you might have freaked out and said, wait a minute, somebody, you deleted the floor. You deleted the floor. What about the... Don't worry, I took care of it. I wanted to do that so that we had more space underneath to be able to make sure we're able to do what we want in case we want to have it, let's say it's like right on a steep hill. Like, it's just to be able to make so we have the freedom we need, but we also know where the boundaries of the house truly are, that I wanted to do that. But, so when it's starting out, like, I'm just going to tell you what it is, and then I'm going to go off screen and do it for each of these 3, and we're just kind of do that format. Number 1 most important thing is the entrance to the building. You have to decide how the entrance of it is going to go. So let's pop that in. Alright, so we have the paths in. Let's talk about that really quick. Very, very organic, a lot of broken up, a lot of shape and indents, a lot of different levels here. And I think it works pretty well. I always think that jungle slabs are the best for these paths because they go well with the coarse dirt. Other than that, it's like any other plank could do pretty well with that, or using cobblestone slabs. But it goes right up to the door, and it fits in well. Also, from walking out, it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like it's a completely different world when you walk out of here. Now, moving on to the college, I figured that this would be on a bit of an island almost. We'll move on to that next, but there is this short little bridge that comes up and goes inside. And if you're in a college, you know, they don't give you a ton of space. They expect you to deal with what they're giving you. This seems right. That feels right. And it would be on an island, but we'll move on to that later. Tavern, there's a road here. There's a bunch of stuff going on. You want to keep it nice and simple. Allow it to be easy access. Just come right on up and enjoy a drink. So I think that it's very, very simple, but it works very well. And one thing to keep in mind is the fact that right there, you got to make sure you put your blocks in. If you don't, it doesn't seem right. And if you put in, let's say, some grass, it looks weird. So whatever the top block is, make sure you match it, and it'll make it look much, much better. Next, you got to worry about the foundation that it's on. So here with something that is this flat, you're not going to see too much of it, and it's going to look pretty simple. But over here, what we're going to be doing, and with this over here, there's some things you got to keep in mind. So let's go take care of that real quick, and I'll show you what we did. All right, guys, so let me show you what's going on here. It's very, very simple, actually. But you see, one of the things that many people forget is that they will normally leave a block just like that, and they just have this log resting on the dirt just like that. That's not how people would do it. You know, they would surround the base of the log holding the structure up with some dirt, stone, or something along those lines. So when you do this, you want to make sure it's covered. And if you decide not to, bring it right down. Don't leave it like this. Do this. It makes it make a lot more sense. Also here, we have it on a very slight hill. We added in the road that this would be going off of because it's a tavern. You don't have a tavern on an island completely separated from everywhere. It's in a town. Here at the college, students, you're not leaving. Big old lava pit. Have fun. And underneath here, we just have a little bit of basic concaveness in here to be able to make it so it's almost like it's on top of a spire, I believe it would be called. Nice and simple, not too much work, not too much detail, very nice and easy. Then over here, this is on a flat piece of land, you know, for the most part. Sure, the front of it dips down a little bit, but for the most part, it's flat. This isn't supposed to be a rich person's house. It's going to be very, very standard. There's not going to be any unique features in it. It's not going to be in a valley. It's not going to be on top of a mountain. It's going to be in a flat piece of land. So, once you have these basic things done, you need to decide about features. So, first is main entrance or paths. Next is the general shape of it. You need to worry about features. Over here, a garden would make so much sense. Here, the feature is the terraforming. It's over a lava pit, so we're not going to do anything here. Here, okay, so what would a tavern have? It would have a sign. It would have a porch here that would be wrapped around, have some fencing on it. It might have in the back some stuff that it grows and serves here, or it might have a small space for cattle or something like that for the food they serve. So we're going to get that going, and I'll catch you back. Alright, so small little garden. If you guys are making a decorative garden, mix it up a little bit. I decided not to use wheat because, I mean, it didn't really fit with what my thought is for this place. So we went with potatoes and carrots. And then over here, this is still the same. We have a sign that poorly says the word bar. R's are very hard with banners. And if you want to learn how to be able to make letters, go check out Banner Manor. Over here, some cows, baby cows. You know, this is where they go to collect the meat for their burgers and steak dinners and everything else that they have in here. Once this is done, all that's left is to really decorate the land around it. So we will do that, but I think we're going to do all of these once we finish doing this. So let's do this. Very simply, grass, coarse dirt, let's get some cobble and andesite. Once we have those, we're going to need some cobble slabs, cobble stairs. That's all we're going to need to detail this up. Let's get the front going here. I believe that this porch would be in line with the ground level. I feel like this would be just flat along with it. So something like that. This area, obviously, because of this, would be similar. So remembering our rule about the pillars, does not apply to the fence posts. We have to surround these. Now when it comes to these where it's just resting on it, it's not holding up a ton of weight. You don't have to surround it, dig it into the ground or anything like that. Continuing along here, just make a nice little wrap around it. And like so. And let's bring this right on out. And once we have this, we're able to decide, we have the path in front, and we're able to use this to decide what we're going to do with the rest of it. And bring this back. I feel that this would be, well, that's a little weird. I feel like this would be on top of a hill of some sorts. So maybe we're able to take this side here and bring it and slope it down. And the front here, we're able to have this slope down maybe toward about here will be the lowest point. And we're able to fill this out. I feel like that would be good. And then just simply bring up the next layer because we know where this will go. This one layer, this right here, let me delete the corners, is our variable. So we're going to put another block underneath it in case we need it there. And let's bring this out by maybe to here. How does that feel? That feels good to me. And we're going to just fill this right on in. And then the next layer will be our variable. and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second here. So, just like so, go underneath again, and fill it in with blocks in case we need them. And then we're able to just bring this right on across. And let's take a look at the shape of this. I feel like that's a good slope. I feel like that is a good slope. Now, we gotta obviously texture up this a little bit. Be able to add a little bit here and there, just to be able to make it so it has variety is all we're looking for. And to change what the general palette is. Because right now it's just very, very, very green. By doing this, we're able to change the palette up. Awesome. That allows us to go into here, grab those famous jungle wood slabs, and do something like this. And that provides a little bit of a slope. One here maybe, and one here. I feel like that looks good. Then after that, get out our fancy shovels, and every once in a while, a little bit of path. When a single path block is done, it almost looks like it's a mud spot. Now, when you expand it out, it looks less like mud, but on its own, they look like mud spots, which is really, really helpful with what we're going for. So, something like that. I feel like that looks good. It goes down and slopes down pretty good. I'm going to get the base of where I want the bottom of this slope to be, and I want this to be a gradual slope. So pull it pretty far away, and I feel like that'd be good, and maybe a little bit over here. Yep, I'm going to... Does the bedrock flash colors for you guys as well when I move side to side? Because it does for me. I'm going to add in a slope going down here. Maybe I'll just add that to give me a better idea of the shape I'm going for. And I'll catch you guys back when I fill in the rest of our base layer of this. Alright? Alright. Alright guys, so I went around and got the shape in. Now as you know, and you can notice, I did not put in the variant blocks and stuff like that. The only reason I did this when I did it is to explain what I meant by variant blocks when I was placing them. The next thing we have to do is decide on features and functions. This is a house. This is someone's home. What do people have when they have their own home? They have normally a fence. They'll have a fence. They might have a small garden. And I don't mean for food normally when it's someone that's this well off. They have a television in there, even though this is a very rustic thing. So they would have maybe some flowers. So the tulips work pretty well for that. They would have a fairly well manicured lawn, so maybe not as much like grass and tall grass. They would also have possibly, I'm looking for a good block type, and I think the oak leaves are good for it before the texture change happens, which is happening soon. But they would also have some hedges. So one of the things I've always seen that I really like is decorative fences that don't serve any purpose. They just are decorative, and I think they look nice. They add a framing to where the world is and the home begins. Now, when it comes to a decorative fence, though, it doesn't mean that it only has to be decorative. For instance, this backyard here, which could go off the side of the house, is able to extend right on down and do something along these lines. And if you're going for something that's very modern, you would cut out that hill, you would make it pretty flat for the backyard. And I'm only placing these in. I would place them back farther, but it's simply where our lot is for this build. So let's put these all down. And right here, no, here, thank you. Sounds good to me. So we have a fence for the backyard. We have a decorative fence up front. maybe we have on the inside here, to be able to keep out some pesky neighbors, we have a couple of hedges. So something like this. It can go a very long way. So something like that. So you can still see through it. It's pretty easy to see through, but it adds another layer of depth. And leaf blocks are amazing for that because you can still see through it, but there's still depth here. And I really like that. Never takes away from the detail you have in the background, but it adds to the foreground. And maybe not on this side, maybe this is where the kids can come out, they go and play. Over here though, this might be mom's garden. So you have to decide, maybe they come in through the backyard, but they'll have a fence here. So little spruce fence gate right there, keep the kids out of mom's little area, mom's little safe haven. And you can take it so it's able to just be filled right on up. This is her getaway. This is what she does to be able to enjoy her time outside. Is she just gets out here, gets away from everything going on, and grows some flowers. And no, it's not organized. But it doesn't have to be. It adds the color to this that it lacks. And right now you're drawn toward this. Now that is just fine because you're still drawn to the build itself. So that is the equivalent of like the bar sign or the small garden over here. Next is what we have to do is what I showed you over here. The variations. Now I showed you some here, and I think this is what the palette will be for all over. Less andesite than everything else, coarse dirt and path blocks randomly from mud, jungle planks for the slabbing up from stairs. The bar here is going to be pretty similar, I would say. It's going to be pretty similar. Oh, and if you didn't know, grass path, it's awesome. So, you know, maybe there's a little bit of mud here. It's a rainy place, it rains a lot. In here there'd be a ton, but I don't feel like fighting the cows that have all grown up. Something like not that, because the block behind it isn't supported for such features. Oh. This is why you need variant blocks. Double stack them so you're able to do stuff like that easily. But while on camera, that's not going to be an option. And just go around, place in some. It doesn't really matter where they are. Just be content with what you're doing. If you make a mistake, it's alright. It's able to still work. It's not like, oh, I feel like it's too filled in over here. So, what's wrong with it being too filled in? There's not a rule that says that you can only have a certain amount of coarse dirt in an area or else you're going to ruin it. And then we're able to come in here, and I wish dirt came in like, it would be like, instead of a dirt slab, because that doesn't sound right, it would be like a dirt heave. I wish there was such a block, because just to have like a little half block of dirt to be able to make it so you can climb up to something would be awesome. Maybe one here and here. And there's a lot more to it now, but that's not where the main thing is, and this isn't going to get any of that added. We're going to skip that step for now. I'll do it off camera, but I'm going to show you one of the most important features when it comes to making a place look run down. And that would be adding random rocks. There's a random rock. It looks like there's something wrong here. It isn't taken care of. And stone buttons work fantastic for small pebbles. So get a few of these in here. And the fact that our house is made out of cobblestone, it even looks like maybe some of it is falling apart. So what I like to do is go around, throw out a bunch of those, and then replace some of them with larger stones. So maybe this one right here. Something, it doesn't have to be complicated. That's something that a lot of people do, is they make them overcomplicated, and you don't have to do that. Just a couple blocks down, even just a half slab, Pop a stair here, that looks just fine. Pop a slab, ta-da, it's a rock. It's a pile of rocks, and that's all you're going for. Don't make it overcomplicated. Don't do more than you have to. And there. It adds to it. It feels like it's more run down now. Once we add in the other blocks, throw in some texture into the ground itself here, it's going to really start to become dilapidated. So let's just do a quick corner over here. And it looks like it's more worn down. Add in a couple stairs. A couple bottom slabs. Maybe one right there. And it's getting more and more run down. As long as you do that, it's going to help you make your houses that are lower economic class seem a little bit more run down. So I'm going to do this and do it to the umpteenth degree on all these, and I'll catch you back when I'm done. Alright guys, so we have it built up here and it's looking pretty good, I would say. And for something like this, I think it works really well. It has some variation. The colors, as you can see here, this like mud effect, it's on a downhill, so there's more mud at the bottom than there is at the top. Over here, similar principles with the mud and things like that. We have a few hollow spots where we have the jungle slabs going in just to add a little bit extra depth, but not too much different here. Over here though, it's looking run down. It's looking beat up. It looks like there hasn't been anyone that seriously has tried to take care of this place in a while. Maybe they focus on the blacksmithing business, whatever it might be, the place is falling apart. So one of the ways to improve that more so is to add in an overgrown kind of element. By popping in randomly some tall grass or using the bone meal and then just getting rid of all the color basically. Whoops, almost missed that one. You're able to make it look fairly overgrown, and it actually adds some depth. It makes it look a little bit more interesting even. So if you just run around real quick, and there we go. Go back through, break some of the grass if you feel like it, break some of the, all the flowers really for the effect we're going for. I still want to know what that weird sound is. It's not coming from my computer, it's coming from Minecraft itself. I hope you guys can hear it, or else I'm going to feel very silly talking to myself about that on camera. But doing something along those lines, and it looks even more overgrown. Go up to a few of these, bone meal them, pop down some tall grass yourself. Whatever you really feel like doing is probably the right thing to do. We all have this natural innate ability to be able to tell when something needs to be changed. It's just finding out what that really is. Add in some tall ferns if you feel like it. It adds a little bit of variety of what is overgrowing this place, but it still makes it feel overgrown, and it fits it so well. So if we just go around here really quick and get this overgrown effect going, I mean, that looks run down. That looks old, it looks run down, and that's exactly what we're going for. Just because I'm a little perfectionist, I felt like there wasn't enough in that corner. This is a college. It's going to be well manicured. I mean, it's not going to be any different. I'm going to show you after this, though, a variation to add something to here, but not for now. Here, it's all only going to have a little bit of grass. It's only going to be slightly overgrown. Doesn't need to be anything special. So let's just run around here. And I said click. There. All it really takes. And over here even though it's a manicured lawn and stuff like that, you know, maybe they haven't done it in the past couple days, or maybe they don't feel like doing it. Maybe they've only done the backyards. The backyard's pretty clean, but the rest of it, the front yard hasn't been hit up yet, so something like that. It adds a lot of depth and effect to it. And I think it looks really nice. Now, to show you this real quick, and this is a pain to do actually. So you're going to need both types of green concrete, and you're going to need to break out all of this. Alright, so I'm going to do this off camera real quick, and I'll catch you back when I'm done. Alright, now you guys might have been able to guess what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be putting these down in rows. So I've put down some string here to be able to make it so these stay up. And all it is alternate back and forth between the two. And when you first start out, it's going to look quite silly. It's going to look like it doesn't make a ton of sense. But what it is when someone mows the lawn, it has the tendency to have one section of grass pushed one way and another section of grass pushed the other way. So it can create a different color effect. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. So I'm going to go finish this up and then I will be done for this episode and I will catch you guys back in a moment. Alright, and that's what the final result looks like, and I am so glad you guys stopped in for the 7th episode of 12 Days of Building. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys back here with the next one. Tomorrow we will be talking about detailing both inside and outside, and I am excited for it. I'll catch you guys back with the next one. Goodbye.